Can you imagine this a couple years ago, starting in the Big Ten, Indiana still commit and taking that walk-on offer to Purdue?
Yeah, man, I'm super blessed to be in the situation I'm in, and a lot of hard work and a lot of favor, and it's been awesome. It's been a grind, but I've enjoyed every second. Hopefully getting an opportunity this Saturday.
Coach Weiss said last week, Ethan Trent is Purdue. What does that kind of mean to you? What, in your mind, what embodies what a Purdue person is?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I'd say a Boilermaker is someone who just works really hard and just finds a way. Just has a little bit of grit to them, and I like to pride myself in that. You got to have that mindset that no matter the circumstances or the situation, you got to find a way. So, I'm honored that he said that about me.
How have you prepared for a bigger role this season? Have you prepared, and how excited are you for that role?
I'm really excited. The coaching staff has done a great job just getting us ready with the way we practice and the way we do things. So just being able to get in the film room, learn from my mistakes, and I have been super blessed to have some really experienced guys in my room in the past. So just being able to learn from them and everything they do, and I've kind of been able to do that myself and embody what they did. So I had a good path carved out for me for sure.
Can you kind of assess where you were when you first got here and how much you've grown?
Yeah, when I first got here, my body wasn't where it needed to be. Mentally, I wasn't where I needed to be, and I think it was a blessing with how I came in, because I didn't expect to play, and I just kind of had the mindset where I was just going to get every little bit of extra work I could get, and it was really good for me just to be able to develop and have older guys in the room, like I just said before, and learn from them. So it's been a grind, but everything's possible through God, and I've really leaned on my faith through the whole process. I'm really excited, but a lot more work to get done.
You think you take us back? Barry Odom said you met with him right when he got here. You said you walked into his office. He said, I just want a chance. Can you sort of recount that conversation, that interaction?
Yeah, sure. I reached out to him because I wanted to meet with him and kind of pick his brain a little bit and just see what he was thinking. And I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page, and that I was going to be able to get an opportunity, and honestly I was just doing what I could do. So I met with him in his office, and just kind of asked him what he needs to see from me, and what he likes from his offensive linemen and stuff like that, and from that conversation I just kind of molded myself into that and embodied myself into that role. So yeah.
Ethan, you talk about your faith a lot. Can you just talk about how your faith has helped you turn into the athlete that you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I would say just being able to go home at night and surrender all my fear, and surrender all maybe the negative feelings I have to God, and understanding that my story is written through Him at the end of the day. And if football doesn't work out, and if none of this works out, I'm a man of God, and I can stand on that, and I can stand on my morals and my beliefs, and the one true way to find eternal life is through Him.
You've had a lot of good-on-good times throughout preseason camp. Just how would you characterize this defense's mindset, attitude, mentality?
Really, I'd say a hungry defense. They get to the ball, and they find a way to the quarterback, and they work off edges really well, and I'd say they're hungry. They swarm the ball, and they do a lot of stuff. So you're definitely going to have to prepare for a lot of stuff when people play our defense.
What would Tyler think of all this? Younger brothers starting for Purdue on opening day.
The depth chart hasn't been official yet, but I think he'd be pretty happy.
How do you remember every day? Do you do anything to keep him in your memory?
Yeah. Absolutely. It's as I've grown older, it's kind of been something I've become more and more proud of, honestly. When I first came to Purdue, it was kind of something that I was a little bit ashamed of, because I just didn't want to be in his shadow while I was here. And as I've kind of worked my way up and I've been able to embody a role of my own, it's changed. And I'm really proud of his story, and I love when people ask me about it. And just walking past his student gates, it's very surreal. And I love to keep him in my memory. And yeah.
How have you guys, as an offensive line as a whole, just continued to gel and to build that cohesion throughout camp?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Coach Weiss has done a really good job of just getting us all in the same room and bonding and doing what we can. We eat every meal together, which is the first time I've done anything like that. And I think some other position groups have started to pick up on that. And I think that's been really good for us. And, a bunch of us are out here getting work after practice. And and all our lockers are next to each other. So just the more you can spend time with people, the better it is, and the stronger bond you build. And this is probably the closest I've been with the offensive line room and my time in college. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Coach Hinton has an offensive line background too. That's been successful offensive line coaching. Does that show up in the way that he talks to you guys about the offense, the way he sort of leads meetings and goes through this?
Yeah, absolutely. He's super detailed coach when it comes to offensive line. And I think that's been super essential for our growth. Him along with Coach Weiss is he's I like to call him an offensive genius, especially when it comes to offensive line play. And that's showed up at all the places he's been at. And I think just offensively as a unit, our blocking has gotten so much better. Perimeter, inside, wherever it needs to get better. And Coach Hinton has done a fantastic job with us.
What made you think he was a genius? Like what was the evidence of that?
I think when he started teaching us about safety rotation and understanding where the blitz is coming from, it was like, hey, this guy knows the ball. So it's just the more you talk to him, the more detail he gets, and it's like it's a never-ending rabbit hole with him. So
were your eyes kind of getting opened up to things you guys hadn't been exposed to before?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. A ton of stuff, and I'd say we're kind of at the point now where like the centers and guards, we're seeing everything, and we're able to get the protection in where it needs to be, and we're seeing blitzes and corners and stuff that in my college career I never looked at. So
how would you kind of assess where this line is right now in terms of pass pro?
I think we've done a good job and we've gotten a lot better. I think there's always ways to go, and for us it's kind of the communication piece and just getting us all on the same page and understanding what type of set each guy is taking, so we can all be on the same level and just little things like that. So it's just the more reps the better for us, but I think we've come a long way for sure.
I think you mentioned in the spring, maybe after the spring game, your best memory being that night against Ohio State and pushing Tyler across the field. Do you kind of see maybe your best memory hasn't come yet, in this stage being a player?
Yeah, it's funny how God works, right? And just stuff like that. It's crazy how faithful God has been to me in my life, and the best is yet to come. And I'm still a young man, and I'm excited for the future and excited for what He has in store for me.
Is there a specific verse that brings you comfort before games?
I would say 1 John 4:4. Little children, you are from God and have overcome them, for He who is in you is greater than he who is in the world.
Amen. Can you tell us, how is Braden working at center? What are his attributes there that make him a good center? Yeah,
I'd say he has gotten a lot better at communicating as camp and as we've gotten into this week has gone on. And he is a great protector of the quarterback and he has great feet and hands. And he's like, he kind of reminds me of like a sumo wrestler a little bit. He just gets his body in like funky positions and he's able to leverage guys and get under him. So he's done a really good job, and I'm excited for what's in store for him.
You watching a little sumo wrestling?
No, I haven't. That's what I figured.
How would your teammates describe you as a blocker?
I think they would say that I'm mean and I have a high motor, and I like to finish blocks and get my hands on people.
Are you mean and enjoy to know him?
Nah, he's got that one. He's a mean dude.
Did you kind of, I know coming here you wanted to play, obviously that was a goal of yours. Did you expect it to happen this quickly?
Not really sure. I don't know if I ever thought that far in the future. I think it's always been my goal to get on the field, and for me, I'm just kind of a one step at a time type of guy, and I try to stay in the moment. And so I think that formula of just taking it one day at a time, 1 month at a time, one lifting cycle, one camp at a time has allowed me to become the best player I can be so far. So yeah.
Good.